Obviously, very raw emotions right now, Shauna. How do you reflect on that 2-2 draw against Briton Ferry Llansawel?
It's a tough one to take, but I think if you try and chunk the game up in the first half, um, we weren't probably up to the standard that we expect us to be playing at, especially where we are in the league now and so late into the season. I just think we're better than the first half performance, but a lot of it was just the expectation that was put on us and the environment, the atmosphere to come here it's through the roof. So it is a tough one. It's something we've not experienced before, but we don't want to keep making excuses. We've got to look at individual performances and collectively at half time we knew we could be better, and I think you could see that with the way that we reacted in the second half. We were front footed, we were dominant, we won majority of the 50-50 battles, so everything that we were falling shy of in the first half we put that right in the second, and I think that's why we were so dominant there in the second half. Obviously with the result, we've not lost, and whilst everyone's obviously really frustrated and upset, naturally I completely understand that. We didn't lose, and we have to remind ourselves of that I think it's 27 games we've gone unbeaten, and we didn't lose here today. So for us that is an achievement, and it's one that hopefully over time the girls will recognise, and it's important to help us move forwards that we go through games like this.
We'll go back to that first half that, as you mentioned in your comments. It's obviously Briton Ferry taking the lead right at the break. How much did that change in team talk?
Not so much, to be honest. Obviously they've got the penalty. She took it really well as well. So penalties are penalties. Those things happen, and for us it was just around sticking together and making sure we come out with a much better performance in all areas. We don't lack desire. We don't lack fight. That's not the issue here. It's more just making sure we're winning certain battles and making sure we're dominating the ball in certain areas so we don't turn the ball over. And when we came out in the second half and did that, you could see we were the better team, and we dominated with the ball as well, but we also dominated off it. Every time they came forwards we were able to pinch it but then go on counter-attack. So a really strong second half performance, and obviously whilst they've gone and got that goal in the dying moments there and we're frustrated and upset with that, it's something that we'll definitely learn from.
And it was unbelievable character in that second 45, starting with the goal from Lexi Jones and a brilliant assist from Chantal Tier to get it in to Lexi in the first place.
Yeah, those two especially work hard week in, week out, and if we're going forwards, usually it's one of them two that's going to be involved in it. So it just goes to show how dominant they can be too. But ultimately, you look at the whole performance in the second half from every single individual player there. You've got Helen Evans that's putting a body on the line and making those tackles that are needed. You've got girls in the back line that are controlling the tempo and finding those key passes that we need from Tiggy and from Sophie. You've got Maria that will run up and down and literally not stop for 90 minutes. And I could name every single player in the team, but whilst a lot of the success of the reward lands with Lexi and Sham most of the time, the ball has to get to them first, and the hard work was done definitely out of possession for us to even be able to unleash those two to go and cause mayhem.
And it was Lexi that put us in front in the 81st minute, so another good goal.
Yeah, Lexi's outstanding and nothing seems to faze her, which is a credit to her, For someone so young, she's only 17, and to play against a team like this where they're mature, they're experienced, they're strong, and they're together, it's a really tough place to come, and for her it just doesn't faze her, and we're just happy we've got a player like that in our group, because she'll perform the same week in, week out, no matter who she plays against, and when things get tough, she'll find a way and she'll keep battling through. And yeah, for someone so young, she's outstanding.
And it was very unfortunate at the end with that Briton Ferry equaliser. But as you reminded us there, with Briton Ferry's win streak here, 27 league wins in a row, looking at from before the game, a point's definitely not a bad result.
No, of course not. And you got to look at the bigger picture here. And this is what's hard, because obviously the girls want 3 points every week, and so do we. But you've got to take it as it comes, and we've got a 3-game week this week, so we've got to manage things as well. And to get a point here on the road when you've got the week that we've got, including the cup final, that's huge, and that is success. And we're glad we're in a position where we've not gone and lost the game, because that would have been a bit more disheartening. So you've got to take the positives, and we've got to learn from the negatives as well.
Just having that quick turnaround ahead of Wednesday away at the Rock against Wrexham picks up a lot of momentum, potentially moving into the Aldrin Trophy final next Sunday.
Yeah, in a way. Obviously we've only got one training session this week, so that's a little bit frustrating in itself that a final's been put on a 3 week game, but it is what it is. That's football, and we've got to make sure that we're together as a group. We regroup and we bounce back, and what a way to do that on Wednesday against Wrexham, but even more so, what a way to do that than in a cup final.